Okay, this video might be kind of odd, but I love smelling good and I love good scents and I love colognes and fragrances and perfumes. And I think that I've just learned a lot about them over time and I just wanted to share the ones that I love with you guys. So if you're looking for your signature scent or you've never had one or you don't understand why you should wear cologne or perfume or fragrance, stick around because we're gonna get into it. So I've been wearing deodorant like forever. I wear deodorant, not antiperspirant, because antiperspirant might kill you. Putting all that aluminum in your pits, probably not good. I would rather just smell good as opposed to just reducing sweat. I, on top of deodorant, have worn like a signature scent kind of ever since I started working when I was like 16. I just always wear one. I was always surrounded by adults, and part of the way that I wanted to make myself stand out and get them to remember me was by smelling good. I wear a bunch of different scents, but I have a couple now that are just like my consistent everyday love wearing them. Kind of don't leave the house without them. I think people will remember how you treated them, but people will remember how you smelled even more. Because if you smell bad, you'll never forget it. If I say, think about somebody who smells bad in your life, you instantly, you know exactly who I'm talking about, and they stink. So don't be that stinky person and get yourself a fragrance. Some of these are luxury high-end and some of these are cheap and attainable and easy to find and easy to replace. So I've got something for everybody on the spectrum, and let's get into it. So the first scent that started basically this journey for me, I think I mentioned in my Glossier video, because Glossier apparently I cannot stop talking about on YouTube, but it's the Glossier You. Now, originally they just had the bottle. Now they have a bigger bottle and a solid and the travel. And I use both. And the reason why I love this fragrance so much is that it's like really a mix between a bunch of different scents, and it really works for any gender. Every person in my family has worn this fragrance. It's like light and bright and peppery, but still has like a musky component. So if you've never smelled it before, I highly suggest going into a Sephora and smelling it because you will probably love it. The reason why it's called You is because it adjusts to your skin's pH level. So it smells slightly different on everybody. And every single time I wear this fragrance, I always get compliments. My only thing is that they did a reformulation about a year ago and it doesn't make it as good. They had to replace some ingredients. I don't think that this version is nearly as nuanced as the original was. So that is definitely a detractor that's made me use it less. But at the end of the day, it is very hard to find anything that is like exactly like it. It really is my like universal compliment machine. Also, love the bottle. It's got like a divot for your thumb. Love it. Now, if you want to go in like the grassy, herbally, more fresh smells, not necessarily aquatic, but fresh, I would go with the Aesop Tacit or the Boysmells Violet Ends. Now, these are both nicer fragrances and they are very different, but they are related because they're so fresh. Aesop's Tacit is very peppery smelling and green smelling, basically. If chartreuse was a color, it would smell like this. It smells fantastic. It also smells very different on everybody, like every fragrance does. So once again, I would test it for yourself. But for the amount that you get, a lot of Aesop scents to me are cuckoo crazy. This is the one that I was like, I can really get into it. And it's very different than anything else I have in my fragrance catalog. Now, Violet Ends is by Boysmells, and you probably know that brand because of their candles. They have candles that are very popular, and they partnered with Casey Musgraves years ago to create a golden hour candle that like very much put them on the map. Years after that, they made a fragrance line, and these bottles are crazy. This is actually not that expensive for a luxury fragrance. I'm pretty sure it was around the $100 mark. This whole thing is the cap. And Violet Ends is a really hard smell to define. You would think violet being lavender, at least in my head I had that association, but this was actually a scent that a friend had at their apartment. I wore it years ago and immediately was obsessed. Something has changed with my brain chemistry and my nose, and I think partly post having COVID, maybe it did this. It still smells really good. It smells very musky, but then there's definitely like an herbal cut. That's why it's so similar to Tacit. It's not like grass and it's not like essential oil. It's just a very like light, heavy smell, if that makes sense. There's a lot of weight to it, but it's still, I would not call this like leathery or smoky. Something in my brain chemistry has changed though, because I don't really like the way this smells on me anymore. And I haven't been wearing it for a while, so maybe I should get back into it to see if I like it. Now, if you're looking for a masculine, mask for mask, heavy smell, then you want to go for the Malin, I'm gonna butcher this, the Malin Goetz leather. I mean, obviously it's in the name. This clear little gorgeous tiny bottle, I think was probably around the $150, $200 mark, so it is expensive. It's from a nice brand, but it straight up smells like buttery leather with a little bit of like incense, put in. It smells amazing. I will usually wear this with other lighter fragrances, but it is like truly a warm embrace masculine scent. And if you're looking for that, this is definitely the way to go because it's not masculine in the sense of Abercrombie Axe. It's more masculine in like a Brokeback Mountain, Tales of Texas cowboy kind of way. And especially if you put Tacit and leather together, I mean, you're basically riding a horse at that point. Now, a brand that I want to call out that I am obsessed with is Dossier. I have 3 Dossier fragrances and a couple of their travel sizes, and I love them. If you don't know what Dossier is, it is similar to Glossier in name only. They are a luxury fragrance dupe company, basically. Everything is inspired by another fragrance. So it's inspired by Tom Ford, it's inspired by Le Labo. And these fragrances, I'm not kidding you, you cannot tell the difference between these fragrances and the real ones. I've had some of these real fragrances, and now I've had the dupes, and the dupes are exactly the same. The only thing that might be different is the concentration, but that is not to say that the Dossier fragrances are not concentrated. They very much are. And the price range is amazing. They range from $25 to $40, and they are always duping really popular brands that are usually $200 to $500. I have Citrus Tea, which is based off of Le Labo's Santal. No, not Santal. Noir 29, I think. It is such an interesting scent. It's kind of fruity, but it's like very dark fruity. It's like almost dark cherry, dark berry, dark amber. It smells so good. I love it on myself. I also got this recommendation from a friend that has the Le Labo version, and I was trying to find a dupe because I'm not going to pay $200 for that. This smells exactly like it. He thought that I bought the Le Labo version, and I was so excited to tell him that I saved like $200. The Aquatic Lime is based off of Aqua Geo's fragrance. I used to have it years ago. I was given as a gift, and it's great. That fragrance is like in the $100 range, so it's not too expensive. But this version is $29, and it is the exact same thing. It is exactly the smell. It is super aquatic and bright and more on the masculine side. So if you're looking for something that's like you playing water polo or you being at a beach house that's scented by Abercrombie, this is very much the thing for you. I love the way this one smells. It's a pretty neutral scent because it's so light and aquatic. So it's an easy one to wear every day for like work. Also, something I like about the Dossier scents, the bottles are nice and the cap is magnetic, and it's just really fun to play with. The last one I have from Dossier is Citrus Ginger, and I'm pretty sure this is based off of Chanel Blue, one of the Chanel fragrances. This one is like masculine, and let me just tell you, I do not like the way this smells in the bottle. I love the way it warms up and smells on me. It is really sharp and peppery, and traditionally what you would think of like a man in a suit doing business on Wall Street kind of vibe, but it's sexy, especially if you have the energy for it, it's sexy. So when I go out and I'm feeling myself, I'll wear this and it's like my going out fragrance. Now back to the luxury end, a gift that I was given years ago is the Rag & Bone Cypress scent. And let me just tell you right now, luxury fragrances are not worth it if you can find a dupe unless you want the bottle, because this bottle is so heavy and thick and weighted. It has stone on the top. It's got a gorgeous magnetic closure. The spray is amazing. Like everything about this bottle is amazing. I wish I could reuse this bottle, but it's almost impossible. I got this fragrance from actually a Scentbird subscription that I got a free trial to through like a YouTuber that I found. And I thought that Scentbird was not going to be worth it. It totally is. If you don't know where to begin, go get yourself a little Scentbird subscription. Pay for the first 2 or 3 months. You get a couple of fragrances, and this, once I did the quiz, this was the very first one that I was suggested. It is very gender neutral, which was what I was going for. And it is definitely on the fresh, natural end, but there's something so smooth and like bubbly smelling about it. It is definitely not feminine and it's definitely not masculine. It's just very much in the middle in a very interesting way. I love the way this one smells, and for the year that I got it last year as a gift, I was wearing it almost every day and I have half this bottle left, and it's just something I'm like cherishing now. So if you're interested in getting a luxury fragrance that's kind of off the beaten path, I would suggest looking at Rag & Bone because all of their scents are really good and they're very different from each other. So you're not going to find a scent like this from another house. A scent that I am dying for, dead for, deceased for is the citrus scent from Urban Outfitters Men, like literally 6-8 years ago. It was $25. I bought 2 of them. I only have these 2 left and I'm so sad. It is like, it's lime, pink pepper, and white musk. So it's kind of a mix to me between Glossier You and like the Aquagio Aquatic Lime dupe. It is such an interesting mix and it's like a perfect scent for me. And of course at the time I thought it was gonna be around forever and it is not. And it was a one-off that Urban Outfitters made. They made a series of these and they own the house, the fragrance house that developed this scent. So I will literally never find it again. There is nothing similar to it. The only thing that is similar, like I said, is the aquatic lime, but it's still pretty different. It's just like citrusy, but like kind of musky, and I've just never smelled anything like it. On the cheap end, but still really nice, Target has a bunch of the Duke Cannon products, and Duke Cannon makes a bunch of different bars of soap and bottles of soap. They also now make an entire fragrance line, and they've just updated the fragrance line to have a lot more. All of these fragrances are $22 and they're amazing. I just went and smelled almost all of them again, and the new ones are amazing. They smell like luxury fragrances and they are so affordable. I have the Sawtooth one and it is like quintessential dude smell. You can totally wear this every day. It is very cologne, woody smell. It's cedar and amber, but like done in a really, really good way. And there's just something about this scent that makes me want to like bite into it. So if you're at a Target anytime soon, I would go smell all of these. They have them on a display and they are a great gift and it's a great fragrance. Speaking of Scentbird, I still have my little Scentbird case from the company, and inside of it, I have a scent. It's by Commodity. It's called Rain. And it smells exactly what you would think. It's like a very aquatic, bright, gorgeous scent. It's like, it really is just like the best smell of rain, but in a fragrance. So it's sweet, but it's still grounded in some way. I love this scent. I used to love Commodity fragrances, but that entire brand imploded years ago and it doesn't look like it was gonna come back. It has come back now. So now I can actually buy this fragrance, and honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I should, because it smells amazing, and it is a great scent if you want something lighter, or if you want to pair it with something that's heavier. And these containers are great. I mean, you can put your sample in it every single month, and once you're out of it, once you use the month's supply, you can figure out if you actually want to buy it or not. This would be a great time if my channel was bigger to have a Scentbird code or plug right here, or this was sponsored by Scentbird, but it's not. So if you want to see me get some brand deals, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Help a brother out. Another interesting brand that I'm seeing more and more of is called Dedcool or Dedcool. It is a really interesting fragrance house because they make their fragrances in all different types of products. They have obviously the fragrances themselves, but now they make car fresheners and detergents and a couple of other things. So if you like one of these scents, you can buy an entirely wide range of products. The difference between this and other brands is that it's high-end luxury fragrances that aren't too expensive. The house, Dedcool, is in LA and they are very interesting, and all of their promo material and graphics are just kind of odd, but it works for them. The scent that I got from them in the travel size that was like 30 bucks on Sephora, I had gotten a sample of it, is Madonna Lily, which I don't know anything about Madonna Lily, but it smells really, really cool. I didn't think I would like this, and out of the whole starter set that I got, this is the one that I bought. It is a really peppery, musky, slightly feminine scent. There's like a sweetness to it, but it is still very like peppery, musky, which I really like. I don't wear this one too often, but it is unlike any of the other scents that I have because it doesn't like land itself particularly in one camp. And I really appreciate that. I don't think I would buy the large bottle of it because I just don't use it that often, but this brand offers these travel vials of all of their scents. And so for 30 bucks, it's totally worth it. The last scent that I want to cover is actually kind of the newest one to this collection. I've been building this collection for years and I usually just stick with one scent like Glossier You. And the scent that has dethroned Glossier is actually Chanel Allure Sport. So I was looking for something that was different than Glossier because they just like kind of broke my heart and the whole product is different now. And I walked down the street and smelled this and could not figure out where it was from. Could not figure out where the scent was coming from, was so confused. Then I realized somebody had dropped a bottle of it on the street, so the entire street smelled like it. And I found the bottom of the glass jar, took it into the Chanel that was across the street and was like, what is this? And they gave me this scent. Now this scent is actually kind of similar to the Citrus Urban Outfitters scent that I mentioned earlier. They are different and the Chanel is definitely smoother and more masculine. It definitely has a masculine base, but it just smells amazing. It's like, it's kind of high-end Abercrombie to me. It's very like rich smelling. Like I feel very rich. It feels very full-bodied and smooth, which I love. And the thing to note about this fragrance and almost all fragrances is this is the Eau de Toilette, I think. Eau de Toilette, voila. And this one smells very different than the other versions. Normally, the different versions of cologne and perfume indicate the different intensities of the scent. So if you had something that was like a more aftershave or deodorant, it's gonna be lighter than a toilette, then it's gonna be lighter than a parfum. That is different now, and so some brands treat that differently, and in this case, every different version of this scent just smells completely different. So at first I was very confused because I was not smelling the right one, and then I got the right one, and I finally got it on sale, and I will probably always repurchase this. I love wearing it every day. It makes me feel rich. It smells really good. Once again, this is just like the Glossier. I get comments on this all the time when I wear it. People are like, huh, you smell nice and you look bad. Make that make sense. So that's all my fragrances. I mean, obviously this video is not going to be the most engaging because you can't smell these, but if you're looking for a new fragrance, I suggest any one of these. They're all very interesting, and I think that they would fit for a wide range of people. And I have a very picky nose, and these are just the ones that have worked for me. Obviously, everybody's tastes are different, and all of these fragrances will smell different on you than on me. So good luck. I would suggest going to Sephora. Sometimes they can give you samples, or getting those discovery packs. They have a ton of different fragrances. And once you figure out one that you really like, you can look at scents in that family, whether it's like aquatic or woody or spicy or fruity or floral. And once you have figured that out, you can kind of go down the rabbit hole of figuring out exactly which one in that family is right for you. Fragrances are really fun now too, because there's a lot of very dynamic scents out there and a lot of gender fluid scents, which I really appreciate because I love like the unexpected accessory being the way that I smell. So that was this week's video. I hope this helped somebody out there. I hope somebody made it to the end of this video. If you did, comment below. And I will see you guys in my next video.